It shall be the duty of the Public Accounts Committee to examine the accounts showing the appropriation of the sums granted by the Assembly to meet the public expenditure and such other accounts laid before the Assembly, as the Assembly may refer to the committee together with the auditor's report thereon.
It was a remarkable improvement in the financial management of public resources in line with government's continued efforts to enhance transparency, accountability and probity. The finance reports were not adopted but referred to the next PACPEC sittings. Uminjai, Grts.
The 4 men who are currently aiding state operative advance ongoing investigations have all admitted that their actions are despicable, utterly false and regrettable. Speaking to Grts, the 4 men appealed directly for forgiveness from the Gambian people and the President of the Republic, say Professor Alhaji Dr. Yahya Jammeh. Modi Jallo has the rest of that story in this report.
Asylum application and subsequent arrest of the alleged perpetrators by operatives of the National Intelligence Agency, the 4 suspects have made a direct appeal to the President of the Republic, His Excellency Sir Professor Alhaji Dr. Yahya Jammeh, begging for clemency and apologizing for what they call as mistakes. Madam Fadi, the alleged asylum seeker, described his actions as totally wrong and unacceptable. Speaking in his native Mandinka language, Fadi took full responsibility, argued that he was compelled by his family's poor financial conditions to travel for greener pastures by seeking asylum under the pretext that he was persecuted and his life endangered. Fadi admitted that he had never been arrested nor persecuted by the country's security services, and therefore advised all youths to desist from such acts as they could tarnish the image of the country or land them in trouble. His brother Alhaji Sambu Fati also accepted responsibility, saying he did not do it out of malice, but only as a means of helping his brother travel to Europe in order to better the family's condition. He joined his brother in appealing for forgiveness from the President, whom they all describe as very merciful and sympathetic to Gambians. Amadou Balde, a justice of the peace, who stamped and sealed the alleged asylum application, said he had a lot of misgivings about the document and even warned Malang from such acts. He however said he did it out of pity for the boy, but now regrets his actions. He also advised his fellow JPs to carefully scrutinize all documents before authenticating them.
I don't want any of them to touch and appeal to them so that they can refrain themselves from this sort of documents.
Amadou Sane, the author of the alleged asylum document, is the National Treasurer and Executive Committee member of the United Democratic Party. Sane admitted writing several other such documents, but said he realized that the contents of the application are completely false, as Malang had never been arrested or persecuted. He also appealed for clemency from the President, saying he has done untold damage to the image of the country. Meanwhile, the National Intelligence Agency is leaving no stone unturned in exposing some unscrupulous Gambian dissidents based in the United States of America, tarnishing the image of the country. The agency recently uncovered a number of alleged asylum applications prepared by one Sehumbalo and the so-called Movement for Democracy and Development, also based in the U.S. The movement lobbies prominent U.S. senators across the political spectrum in order to tarnish the image of the Gambia and facilitate asylum for numerous Gambians who claim to be persecuted by the Gambian government. These documents, the intelligence agency believes, are completely false, as the applicants have never faced any persecution in their home country and only want to get residence in the United States. Modi Jallo, Grts.
The Gambia Fashion Night team is preparing for the show's second edition. The team, along with its partners, recently held a press briefing to update the public about their plans for the upcoming event. Rohibite tells us more.
Gambia Fashion Night in 2011, the team in charge of that spectacular event is making plans for what organizers say will be one of the most spectacular shows in the Gambia's fashion industry. This team and its partners revealed their plans for this year's Gambia Fashion Night, slated for November 30th at a press briefing. The last edition of the Gambia Fashion Night provided a platform for Gambian models to exhibit their talents on the international stage. More is expected this time, as organizers hopes to contribute to the expansion of Gambian fashion, opening new business opportunity for investors and tourism.
This is the main output from the things that we develop the economical situation here in a positive way, to create jobs for young people, to do some things that the country goes further.
The huge potential inherent in the Gambia's tourism sector makes the event an important avenue for the involvement of the Gambia tourism industry.
Because of that, we in the Gambia don't want to sit on our laurels. We want to move on with the changing world. We want to tap all the potentials that are available to us, but also do it in a way that will be beneficial to the people of the Gambia.
As partners, Comium Gambia Limited is not left behind in trying to explore the Gambia's potential in the fashion industry by boasting the brand Gambia as a way of giving back to the nation.
This event will not only promote destination Gambia in Europe, but also create opportunities for young Gambian fashion designers and models. We believe that to whom much has been given, much is expected. And therefore, our wish to affiliate with Gambia Fashion Night to boost the brand The Gambia is just a way to give back to the nation that embraced us all.
Just like any international event, partners in the fashion industry are expected from all over the world. Among them is Agatha Rouge, one of Spain's finest, whose designs are with representation all over the world.
I have witnessed growth in the relations, not only in the formal governmental relations, but also in the relations related to business people, economic relations, exchanges, presence of Spanish people here. In the sector of tourism, I think we are very present. We are very present not only as partners, and more investors are coming here looking for chances in the tourism sector in Gambia. But we're also present through our tourists. We have a good amount of tourists coming every year to Gambia, which is becoming a more and more popular destination for many reasons that you all know. Gambia is beautiful, Gambia is safe, Gambia is easygoing, and we receive a warm welcome when we come here.
The Gambia Fashion Night, according to organizers, is also expecting one of the world's top models and some high-profile African fashion designers and investors from different parts of the world. The main attraction of this year's event is tailoring, as organizers want to explore the creativity of Gambian tailors. 10 selected tailors will participate in this year's event, which will be held at the Kairava Beach Hotel. Rohi Bitey, Grts News.
A 4-day national seminar on trade and development is underway. It's organized by the Ministry of Trade, Industry, Regional Integration and Employment in partnership with World Trade Organization and United Nations Economic Commission for Africa for least developed countries. Uminjai reports.
The objective of this training is to build national capacity on trade and development to support the Minister of Trade, Industry, Regional Integration and Employment's development drive. This workshop is indeed in line with the Gambia's efforts to mainstream trade in the relevant sectors and as well work towards creating linkages between trade promotion needs and national development objectives.
It is envisaged that during the 4 days workshop, the participants will be exposed to all the relevant matters related to trade and development, especially the special provisions on trade and development captured in the various agreements of the General Agreement on Trade and Tariffs, GATT, the Doha, and as well as including other international frameworks, as these provisions on special and differential treatment gives developing countries the special rights and at the same time give developed countries the possibility to treat developing and least developed countries more favorably.
The Program Management Officer for United Nations Economic Commission for Africa, Jean Karonga, described the training workshop as timely in view of the upcoming Bali conference, noting that in Africa the trade agenda should now align with the heads of state decision, boosting into continental free trade areas for the overall development of the continent in general.
One of them being the dispute settlement function that is progressing well. The other function is the technical assistance and cooperation pillar, which is also functioning quite well. And the third pillar is the monitoring, which we undertake on a regular basis, and that is also progressing well. The issue is really with the fourth pillar, which is the negotiations, and this is where Bali becomes important.
The World Trade Organization's representative, Ami Murigandi, said for African countries to achieve sustainable growth and development, multilateral trading systems as well as adoption of rules